What's up everybody, Kyle here at Let's Talk Wax with my finalized Juggernaut rankings for the 2024 season. These are stat-based rankings based on weighted on base average, stolen bases per plate appearance, K percentage, swing strike percentage, WRC plus, and age level. In this video, I'm going to take you through the top 10 prospects that finished in the top 10 over the last year of the 2024 season on my Juggernaut ranking system. Now you can find rankings for all prospects over on my Patreon page. I've got them sorted by player and by rank. If you want to check that out, there's a link to it in the description. But without further ado, we're going to jump into the top 10 ranking prospects on my Juggernaut ranking system, starting off with MiLB. MiLB came in at number 10 in my finalized rankings, 21.6, finished the season in Double-A with a back injury on August 28th. Now, MiLB definitely has his work cut out for him in the Detroit Tigers organization, with Colt Keith, an MLB second baseman, Jace Young, and Kevin McGonigal all ranked ahead of him as far as prospects go. But he did have an exceptional year in 2024. He was traded from the Philadelphia Phillies to the Detroit Tigers. You are going to notice he is in a Philadelphia Phillies uniform in this card, but he hit .298 over the season with a 190 ISO, a sub 20 K percentage, a little bit of a low walk rate, but he did hit 12 home runs and stole 16 bases. So one of the best seasons of his career. He's also put up very good numbers throughout his entire minor league career, hitting .288 with a 164 ISO. Excellent K numbers. He ranks in at 2.5 on my Let's Talk Wax ranking system. You guys can find more info on that ranking system in the video description. And based on the card hedge data, you can definitely see there's been a huge rise in MiLB prices over the last few months of the season here. He's kind of spiked out to the right here, and this card hedge data is, I'm going to use this for all the prospects in my video. You can access the affiliate link in my video description if you guys want to check card hedge out. You can also get a free 7-day trial with that over there, but it is if I am affiliate link with them, so I do get a small percentage of signups for that. But I'm going to use this data throughout the video. But MiLB is going to lead us off at number 10. Finishing up the 2024 season at number 9 is Christian Campbell, possibly one of the best seasons in minor league baseball among all prospects. The only thing that happened with Christian Campbell and the ranking systems, I think he took a bit of a hit for being 22.2. If he was 19 or 20 years old, like some of the prospects that are going to be in the top 3, I definitely think he would have ranked much higher than number 9, but definitely one of the best breakout seasons of any prospect in minor league baseball. The card hedge data over here kind of tells the tale. It's just a steady increase throughout the 2024 season. This was over the last 6 months of his PSA 10 sales, just a straight skyrocket to about a final price of around $250 for his PSA 10 stuff. Now, Christian Campbell probably has maxed out his value in the minor leagues. I can't foresee him performing much better than what he did in 2024 next year. I think the only thing that's going to help his value at this point is a call-up and success at the next level. But he did lead all of minor league baseball in WRC plus among players with 250 plate appearances. He's got excellent physical projection. He's a phenomenal athlete, standing at 6'3". He's the only player in this top 10 list with 20 home runs and 20 plus stolen bases. But like I said, he's probably peaked out for now. We're going to have to wait and see what happens in 2025 with Christian Campbell. The stats don't lie as well. 330 average this season with a 228 ISO. Anytime you find a guy that hits above 300 with a 200 plus ISO and K numbers like Campbell, that's pretty special. A sub 20 K percentage and a 14.3% walk rate to go along with those numbers. And it's something that he's done throughout his career. His career hasn't been a very large sample size. He's only got a few plate appearances in 2023 post-draft, but he really did blow up this year. He's out of 2023 Bowman draft, and like I said, his cards are probably at an all-time high right now for minor league baseball, and it's going to take a transition into the major leagues, I think, to make these cards move any higher. Now, if you guys enjoy my content and you want to help support the channel, be sure to check out my Patreon page. I'll put a link to it in the video description. There's lots of really cool informational data over there to keep you guys busy throughout the offseason. I'm actually going through the process of updating all of this and finalizing it for the 2024 season. I've got first chrome and first autograph checklist breakdowns for every Bowman release since 2019. I've got team break guides over there as well that organize first chrome and first chrome autos by team for every release since 2020. Of course, you get access to to my full Juggernaut rankings for all minor league prospects in the 2024 season, sorted by player and by rank. I'm going to be updating my top 100 Bowman Chrome autos list under $50 and also putting out my finalized top 100 Bowman Chrome autos list for the 2024 season. You also get access to our private Discord server with over 400 active members with lots of informative info over there and lots of activity talking about prospects, hobby discussion, promotions, call-ups, and prospect news. So if you guys want to help support the channel, there's lots of stuff to keep you busy all during the offseason. I'll put a link to my Patreon page in the video description. Luke Adams is possibly the most interesting prospect on this Juggernaut list, and why the formula favors him so much is his K numbers. He takes a ton of walks. He has a very high on-base percentage. You can see he's only hitting .227, but he does have a very high weighted on-base average because he takes a ton of walks, a near 20% walk rate this year in the minor leagues, and he does steal some bases. I don't think he's going to have elite impact speed at the major league level, but he has just enough thump, just enough speed, and he takes a ton of walks and has a very high weighted on base average, which does propel him high into the rankings. He was also pretty young for a high A at 20.4, but he's definitely, like I said, one of the big outliers in this top 10 group. You're going to notice his stats aren't really comparable to many others in the top 10, but like as I haven't mentioned before, the Juggernaut ranking system is basically for informational purposes only. You can't really design a formula to predict potential MLB superstars. It's kind of silly to think about that, but this does, kind of provide some information and show the best performers based on the stats over the years. So this is what the formula spit out. Luke Adams at number 8. Trey Morgan is another player who really broke onto the scene in 2024. He finished very hot in the back half, went from low A all the way to double A this year, 22.2 out of LSU. He's a left-handed hitter. He doesn't have a ton of thump, but he has excellent bat-to-ball skills. He's got a 10.9% K rate across the 2024 season and a 10.3 K percentage across his career. Another guy much like Campbell, got a few plate appearances after the 2023 draft, but really solidified himself in 2024. He had 10 home runs and stole 20 bases. And I've watched Trey Morgan for a long time at LSU. And like I said, he's got very good gap-to-gap power and contact skills. I'm just not sure how he's going to fit defensively at the next level in the MLB. For me right now, he's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 2.5 and another card you can find out of 2023 Bowman draft. At number 6, we've got Samuel Basallo, probably one of the highest ceiling bats on this list, in my opinion. But that's kind of where the buck stops with him. I've talked about him a lot on the channel. Catching is probably going to be a stretch behind Adley Rutschman. He may do some sort of a platoon role at catcher, DH, first base. But I definitely think he's got enough firepower offensively to stay in the lineup. It's just a matter of how they're going to fit him in defensively. He was 20.2, played the entire season between AA and AAA, started the season in AA at 19, and if you look at the numbers he put up, they are pretty impressive for his age level, and that's where he got a ton of points as well, playing at that high of a level at such a young age. He hit 278 on the season with a 171 ISO, a near sub 20K percentage, 19 home runs, 10 stolen bases, and this is very persistent with what he's done over his career. He's got a 1,300 plate appearance sample size over his career, a 286 hitter with a 191 ISO, and excellent K numbers across the board. And what you have to also consider about Basallo is he's been challenged age level wise throughout his career. He's never had a break where he spent a significant amount of time at the DSL, the complex league, or low A to kind of pad his career stats. The Orioles have been very aggressive with Basallo. He's definitely one of the top chasers out of 2023 Bowman Chrome, and you can see how his cards have dropped a little bit over the last 2 years, and I think that's kind of because he isn't putting up spectacular numbers compared to guys like Christian Campbell that you saw on this list already, but you have to also understand that he's played in AA and AAA as pretty much a 19-year-old the whole season. And I think sometimes people lose sight of that, which is why I like to incorporate age level into my formula. But kind of a defensive dud here, but a huge offensive profile for Samuel Basallo. Definitely a guy who I think could explode in 2025. and possibly even make his major league debut. Another breakout player out of 2023 Bowman draft is Luke Keyshaw at number 5. Now, Luke Keyshaw did have season-ending Tommy John surgery on August 9th, so his stats have not been updated since then. He will not play in the Arizona Fall League. I did forget to mention that Trey Morgan will be playing in the Arizona Fall League with the Mesa Solar Sox, but I was kind of hoping to see Keyshaw in the Arizona Fall League, but the injury took him out of that running. We could see a big dip in prices with Keyshaw being injured, but it is over the course of the offseason. He probably will get a late start to the 2025 season, and a lot of times when people are on the injured list, you do notice price dips because they're out of sight, out of mind. There's so many players to collect, so many players to follow, and basically being injured is like not performing well, and I think a lot of collectors tend to push those guys off to the side, so we could see a little dip in Keyshaw's prices. He really hasn't gotten that high. His cards are sitting right around $60 right now for PSA 10 autos, so a guy to definitely check out. He's had an amazing season. He hit 303 with a 180 ISO, 17.2 K percentage, a 13.3 walk percentage, 15 home runs, 23 stolen bases. Just an exciting player. 22.1 play between high A and double A. A guy that when he gets healthy could, hopefully he gets back on track early with all that time off. I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but definitely a guy to keep your eye on in 2025, and definitely a guy to watch prices to see if they do take a big dip being injured. So let's talk wax rank of 2, and as I mentioned before, he's also out of 2023 Bowman draft. Lots of big-time players based on the Juggernaut rankings coming out of 2023 draft. Now, the next 4 players are all very young and possibly 4 of the most exciting players in minor league baseball going into 2025. We've got Sebastian Walcott. He does have his it's not his first chrome auto, it's a chrome auto. It's his first chrome auto, but it doesn't have the first emblem out of 2024 Bowman because he did have a first chrome in 2023 Bowman Chrome. So do be aware of that. There are collectors out there who don't really want to dive into the non-first stuff, but it technically is his first auto. It's the first auto he's had. It just won't have the emblem because he had a first chrome in 2023 Bowman Chrome. I did a video, if that's confusing to you, way back at the beginning of my channel, kind of explaining the difference between first chromes, non-first chromes, and all that stuff. So if you're kind of new to this, that'd be a good video for you to check out. But Sebastian Walcott, super exciting. He's his second youngest player to reach AA behind Nelson Rod, as 18.5, played in AA this year. It's just so young. He's made significant improvements to his K numbers from 23 to 24 as well. That was one of the big hang-ups I had with Walcott last year. The Ks kind of got a little out of hand, but in 2024 he really cleaned up those numbers, and he has got a very high speed power hit ceiling. I think the speed and the power are going to be the 2 big ones for him. If he can make enough contact in the higher levels, in 2025, we're going to have to see how he pans out over a full season in AA. I'm sure that's where he's going to start, and I'm sure that's where he's going to stay. If he performs well, we could see him even in AAA in 2025. But a very young, exciting player, a bit of a risk due to the history of striking out a little bit. But like I said, he's improved his K number significantly from 2023 to 2024. So definitely something to keep in mind. He's a Let's Talk wax rank of 1.5, and his cards have actually started to jump quite a bit, and I think it was since that promotion to AA. When an 18-year-old is playing in AA, I think that excites a lot of people. So you do see a small spike here towards the end of the year. Another very exciting player at number 3 is Bryce Eldridge, who went from low A to AAA this year and finished the season at 19.9 in AAA. There is some massive power here. He is 6'7" and he weighs 225 pounds. He's very limited defensively, but I really don't think that's going to matter with the profile of this bat. Between the 4 levels that he played at this year, under the age of 20, he hit 292 with a 224 ISO, 23 home runs, just very, very big power. He does have some K issues. You can see he's got a 25.4 K percentage on the 2024 season, and it's very similar to what he did over his career. Much like Walcott, he's kind of in that fringy range, but you have to understand as well that he's under the age of 20, playing at the highest levels of minor league baseball. So a very big power bat here, an enormous power ceiling, probably another one of the guys with one of the highest power ceilings in minor league baseball. His cards have actually started to jump up. You can see a small dip here a few months ago, but with the promotions going from AA to AAA at his age, you can see his stuff starting to peak back up, and I think people are kind of aware of the power that he has. Regardless of his low defensive ceiling, I've still got him as a Let's Talk Wax rank of 1.5 because I do believe that Bryce Eldridge could be a very special bat down the road. Definitely got to check out in the 2024 Arizona Fall League and see what happens there. But he's got exceptional contact for the power we've got here. Definitely got to keep an eye on. Now, at number 2, we've got some of the mainstream rankings. Number 1 prospect in minor league baseball going forward into the 2025 season. Roman Anthony, 6'2", left-handed hitting outfielder, center fielder with the Boston Red Sox. He's 20.4, played between AA and AAA. Put up some really good numbers this year. 291 batting average, 207 ISO. 18 home runs, 21 stolen bases, so some big numbers there in the speed power department. He held the highest WRC plus of any player in both AA and AAA under the age of 20. Now, the only knock that I have on Roman Anthony, and I kind of had to be nitpicky to even find one with him, is he does have some elevated ground ball to fly ball rates. But the thing about that is, if he learns to get the ball in the air more often, we could see his power jump even more. So definitely something to consider. I can't say that's going to be a guarantee, but if he does get the ball in the air more in 2025, we could really see the home runs take off because he's definitely got the power, definitely going to stick in shortstop. And I have in my notes here, he's probably going to be a top 5 prospect in 2025, but he's already broken that barrier. And you can see the card hedge data here was prior to him being called the number 1 prospect by several mainstream websites. And I did say in my last Juggernaut video that I did think his minor league prices have capped because his performance was just so good. But when something like that happens, prices can tend to jump again because, like I said, a lot more people who only follow mainstream media and mainstream prospect rankings, now they all know that Roman Anthony is really good. So you're going to have some competition with people who don't take prospecting as seriously as the people that probably watch my channel. But like I said, that could probably jump values a little bit. He's the highest ranking Let's Talk Wax on this list along with our number 1. He has a Let's Talk Wax rank of 1, and I do think that he could be a special player in 2025, and we could definitely has a chance to receive a call-up in 2025 as well. Now on to Walker Jenkins, our other Let's Talk Wax rankie of number 1. He is the number 1 prospect that the Juggernaut spit out for us in 2024. He is 19.7, played between A-ball, high A, and AA this year. A center fielder who's probably going to end up playing a corner outfield spot, but I really don't think that's going to matter with him. The cool thing about Walker Jenkins is he's very expensive. That's the one downside. His raw cards are right around $150 to $200 right now, and they've only dipped just a tad since release, and it looks like it's been more of a price settling dip with 2024 Bowman being a very recent release. It just looks like the price kind of settling after the post-release hype. So his cards really haven't dipped per se. They've just kind of settled to, I think, where they're going to be until the 2025 season starts and we see what happens with him. But the thing I like about Jenkins is a very high floor bat along with a very high ceiling bat. He's got excellent K numbers and contact rates, but he also has some big power. So that's why I call him a high floor, high ceiling, because even if he doesn't run into a ton of power, I still think he's going to hit for plenty of average and make plenty of contact. And the upside with making a lot of contact and not striking out is he's going to tap into a lot more raw power in game. So he's a very safe play. The only problem is, like I said, he's already very expensive because when you put up numbers like this for your age level, a lot of people are going to find out who you are. But he is who the Juggernaut rank system spit out as our number 1 prospect going into 2025, Walker Jenkins. Before we go, I want to give a huge shout out to all my Patreon level 3 subscribers. You guys rock. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to subscribe. And I hope y'all have a great day and good luck prospecting in the 2024 offseason.